Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this live session on. We are going to go deeper into a concept today about process capability. Is my voice loud and clear? Just give me yes in the chat box and let us begin the journey today. Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear hai? Loud, loud, clear, loud, clear. Amazing, amazing, super. Thank you very much for the confirmation. Yes, so let's welcome the new members in the community right now. Who are the new members joining today? There, if this is your first session, okay, just type me in the chat box. Everybody, the new members. Let me see who are those people. Okay, Mr. Rajesh, Rahul, Preeti. Okay, Ramchandra. Everybody, just type me in the chat box. A new member, especially who have joined yesterday or within this week. This is their first live session. Okay, superb. So everybody just type welcome new members in the community. Sampada as well. Ranjit as well. Okay, everybody just type welcome new member in the community. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Super, super. Amazing. Chalo, so शुरुआत करते हैं. So what we are going to discuss about is something which is very important for green belt as well as for black belt, right? Because process capability is what we are going to discuss today, which is also can be demonstrated by Cpk and Ppk. So a lot of people, okay. मेरा आवाज छोटा थोड़ा आ रहा है क्या? मतलब it's not clear. Ranjit ji, is it not clear to you? Clear है ना? Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay. चलो चलो. It's not loud. Okay. Let me see if it's clear now. Okay, chalo, theek hai. Let's move on. So today's topic, let me just share my whiteboard, and from the whiteboard, let's begin our journey. So today's topic is all about process capability. Now in the DMAIC framework, okay, in the DMAIC framework, we use process capability 2 times. Can you tell me which phase do we use process capability? Type in the chat box. All the old members, the senior members, which phase do we check process capability? Type in the chat box. Everybody. The people who are aware of this. Analyze, says Mr. Prashant. Measure, okay. Very good. So the right answer, the first right answer is a major phase. Make a note of this. So today we are going to discuss about process capability. So what is that? I will explain. But first, let's understand which phase does it belong to. So first answer to that is absolutely right, major phase. But I said it is used twice. So which is the next phase? When do we use process capability? Next. So we use process capability. Everybody type in the chat box. So first is major phase. Make a note of that. That's the right answer. But when do we use second time? Everybody. बताइए, गलती करिए. It's see, this session is to make mistakes and learn from it. That's the main objective. Absolutely right. Very good. Yes, so we can say after improve phase, in the control phase, basically we check the process capability. So once the process capability is improved, okay, once it is settled down, we check it again. So the first one is in major phase, and the next one is in control phase after improvement. Of course, after improvement, it starts getting up, starts improving, it stabilizes. That's where we check it again. Okay, so major phase hai, which is before improvement. Make a note of this. And control phase is after improvement. Are you clear with this? And we should expect some result here. Let's say, for example, if my process capability in measure phase is, let's say, 2 sigma, my process capability in improve phase or after improve phase will be, I'm expecting will be 4 sigma. Are you understanding this? Just type yes in the chat box. So when we say 6 sigma, that number 6 is denoting process capability. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. So we check it 2 times in our project. One is measure phase before improvement and one is after improvement in the control phase. Once the process is stabilizes. Yes? Exactly. And then we check, then we compare whether we have really improved our process capability or not. Clear hai? Super clear. So we are talking about in the process capability analysis today and the topic which we are going to discuss. So today, measure phase and control phase, we are going to use this. Okay. Now, there are another twist to the tail here. Make a note of this. Now, there are two types of data we know of, right? How many of you know there are two types of data? Type in the chat box, everybody. There are two types of data. Continuous, very good. What else? What is the second type? Continuous and discrete. Very good. Super. So continuous data and discrete data. Continuous data meaning the data which can be measured on continuous scale. It's called continuous data. Data which can be measured on continuous scale is called continuous data. Okay, I think somebody is putting some. So let me just clear that. So coming back to this, data which can be measured on a continuous scale is called as continuous data, and data which can be counted, which cannot be measured, it's called discrete data. For example, discrete data meaning how many students pass, how many students failed. Out of 100, 75 students passed and 25 students failed. That is a discrete data because it's counted data. And continuous data meaning what is the average height of the students. So average height can be measured in the centimeter, right? So it is 165.1, 165.2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 166, 166.1, 166.2, 166.7. Okay, so this is continuous scale we can measure. So whatever we can measure is continuous, whatever we can count is discrete. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Are you clear? Super clear with this simple explanation? Okay. I just want to touch upon the topic. That's what I'm just giving you a little background. Now, when there is a continuous data, the process capability can be measured with Z score or the Z bench value and Cpk. And if you have the discrete data, then the process capability can be done with, how do we measure process capability of discrete data? Type in the chat box. Anybody knowing this answer? Anybody knowing this answer? Type in the chat box. DPMO, exactly. Super. Amazing. No, so continuous में PP PPK भी continuous में आएगा. So today we are going to learn about CP CPK and PP PPK both. So one is short-term process capability, another is long-term process capability. That's it. Okay. Now when it comes to discrete data, we have DPMO and PPM, parts per million. Remember? So DPMO and PPM, these are two for discrete data. For continuous data, you can use Z-score or CP-CPK, PP-PPK. Clear, everybody? So today we are going to discuss how continuous data process capability is calculated, and we are going to focus on Cpk and Ppk. So are you clear? So we are going to talk about measure phase, process capability, continuous data, Cpk, Ppk. Clear? हम लोग कहां से कौन सा टॉपिक पे डिस्कस कर रहे हैं? Just type yes in the chat box. If all the new members, okay, in the green belt also we have this topic. In the black belt also we have the topic. So it is applicable in both direction. Please repeat. Continuous data mean. Okay, continuous data meaning very simple. Example of continuous data. Let's say height. Make a note of this, everybody. Okay, make a note of this. Height, length, width, speed, temperature, pressure, which can be measured on a continuous scale and which can be shown in decimals. Okay, see, we can see the height. We can show the height, no? Like 150.5 centimeter, 150.1 centimeter, 150.2 centimeter, right? So on a continuous scale, we can measure it. See, continuous data is measured and discrete data is counted. How many pieces you produce, how many pieces were defective. That is a count data. We don't measure. See, understand this. We also subconsciously also we use the same language. Let's say, do you say go and count the weight? Or do you say go and measure the weight? Everybody type in the chat box. M for measure and C for count. What do we say for weight? We always say go and measure the weight. We never say go and count the weight. Understanding this? Whenever we say measure, it's a continuous data. Okay. We say go and measure the height. We don't say go there and count the height. On the other side, we never say go and measure the number of people in the room. Understand this? We never say, we say go and count the number of people in the room. So whenever we say count, it is a discrete data. Are you understanding this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear hai? So we will never have 1.1 person in the room. We either have 1 person or 2 person. There is nothing in between. So there is no decimal here in discrete. ठीक है? समझ में आ गया? So measurement है, measurable data, it's continuous. Countable data is discrete. Simple. Okay. Yes. Now tell me, anybody in the room having continuous data? Yes, understood na Preeti? Fantastic. Super. So anybody in the room having continuous data in your process, just type that data type in the chat box. If you have any continuous data, just type that data type. What do you measure? Type that in the chat box. Let me see. Everybody, you must be measuring something, right? Something like weight or temperature or pressure or width or something like that. And just talk about a final product. If possible, talk about final product. Yeah, talk about final product. Yeah, weight of the product. Very good. Let's talk about final product or final service, what you are delivering to the customer. Because process capability has got to do with the customer. Temperature, area monitoring time, fantastic. AHT, average call handling time, very good. Plating thickness, pressure, vacuum, very nice, superb. Voltage, fantastic. Quality, purity, pressure, some amazing. So these are all continuous data which can be expressed in decimal. CSAT, customer satisfaction. So all these are, continuous data which can be expressed in the decimal. Yes or no? Correct? Now, what is process capability? That's the first question. What is process capability? Right? Process capability is nothing but ability of the process. Very simple. That name itself has the explanation in it. Ability of the process to satisfy the requirement of the customer. Ability of the process to satisfy the requirement of the customer is called process capability. Ability of the process to satisfy the requirement of the customer. Okay, example. Let's say you are a tea stall vendor. Okay, आप चाय बनाने वाले हो. And temperature of that cup of tea is a very, very important critical factor for the customer. Yes or no? Correct? Now, if customer wants the temperature of the cup of tea between, customer wants 80 degrees centigrade. Now, this is what customer is expecting. And upper specification limit is 90 degrees centigrade. and the lower specification limit is 70 degrees centigrade. What does it mean? So the target is 80 degree. USL, upper specification limit, is 90 degree, and lower specification limit is 70 degree. What does it mean? It means you have to produce that cup of tea at 80 degree only. If it goes beyond 90 degree, it will be too hot for the customer. If it is below 70 degree, it will be too cold for the customer. And both these cases, customer will reject. Customer वापस दे देगा, नहीं चाहिए भाई चाय तुम्हारा. Okay, so this is called as specification limit, and specification limits are set by the customer itself. Are you clear with this specification limit and the target? Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Yes, very simple. Now, can you write at least one of your specification limit? Just now you have mentioned your continuous data, right? For that continuous data, what is the specification limit set by the customer? Can you just give me some some kind of indication there? Type in the chat box. For your process, what is the specification limit do you follow? 80 to 85 degrees centigrade. Fantastic, Ranjiji. What else? Type in the chat box. If you have multiple, you can type multiple. At least give me one so that I can correlate. Purity, 99.5 plus minus 0.1%. Fantastic. So 99.4 and 99.6 is your specification limit, and 99.5 is your target. Very good. 5.0 kg to 5.12 kg. मैं थोड़ा सा हाँ, perfect. Metal pipe thickness 2 mm to 2.5 mm. Fantastic. So lower specification is 2 mm, higher specification is 2.5 mm. Clear, everybody? Lower specification, higher specification, upper specification limit, lower specification. Clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear? Just give me yes. Okay. Now, so when it comes to continuous data, okay. Frequency 50 hertz plus and minus 5. Very good. Super. Now, when it comes to process capability, before Six Sigma arrived, okay, okay, M30 to M40 for the concrete grade. Very good. Super. Now, before Six Sigma, okay, let me write here itself. Before Six Sigma, we used to use something like CP and Cpk. Of course, PP and PPK as well, which we are going to discuss. Okay. After Six Sigma, we shifted to the companies who are following Lean Six Sigma principle, etc. For the continuous data, they shifted to the Z bench value or Z score value. Or if it is discrete data, they shifted to DPMO. Okay. So earlier it was CP, CPK and PPM also. PPM. Earlier they were using PPM. Now they are using. Okay, let me just make a table out of it. Okay, एक मिनट में table बनाता हूं इसको पूरा निकाल के. So before Six Sigma, you can just make a table. Before Six Sigma methodology, all right. For continuous data, we used to use CP, CPK and PP, PPK. All right. And for discrete data, we used to use PPM. Now, after Six Sigma, we started using the Z bench and DPMO. Instead of PPM, we started using DPMO. So make this table so that you can understand this. Clear, everybody? So before Six Sigma, it was continuous data. It was measured in CP, CPK and PP, PPK, which we are going to learn today. And discrete data used to be measured in PPM, parts per million. PPM meaning parts per million. Okay. Then after Six Sigma, now we are measuring the companies who are, who are practicing Six Sigma. They are measuring process capability in Z bench, that's where 6 sigma, 7 sigma, 4 sigma, that comes in the Z bench. When I say 6 sigma, that number 6 is the Z bench number. Clear? And then the DPMO. Instead of defective, now we are measuring in defect. Okay. But today let's focus on continuous data CP/CPK. See, some companies are using CP/CPK as well as Z bench both. In our Minitab, we have got both options available. Okay, that's why I'm covering all these things. Clear? Just take a screenshot of this. If it is clear to you, just give me yes in the chat box. यहां तक क्लियर है everybody? Super clear? Amazing. It's very Ronnie ji, it's very self-explanatory. Before 6 sigma, this is before. Okay, इसको मैं एक बार इसको हटा देता हूं. So this is before 6 sigma. Before, now 6 sigma arrived after 1980s and 90s, right? So before 6 sigma, we used to work on CP/CPK and PP/Ppk, which we are going to discuss today. And if you have discrete data, we used to use ppm, parts per million. Okay. And after 6 sigma, we are using Z bench, and in case of discrete data, we are using DPM. Now we are going to focus on this part. But now a lot of companies, 6 sigma actually started in Motorola 1986-87. 86-87 में Motorola में it started. After that, GE and other companies started taking, in 1990s and 2000, they started embarking on the journey of 6 sigma. That's where after 86, 87 onwards, in 90s and 2000 was the peak time where most of the companies started using 6 sigma. Okay. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. So what is CPK? Let's try to understand this. So CP, write this down. The formula for CP, the first one. CP stands for potential process capability. Write this down. Potential process capability. The formula of CP is USL minus LSL divided by 6 times standard deviation of the process. USL minus LSL divided by 6 times standard deviation of the process. That is called CP, which is a potential process capability. Have you written this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Let's put some number on this formula. Let's take the same data. Okay, let's take the same data of our 70 degree centigrade and 90 degree centigrade. Okay, let's take the same data. And now let's say I run the process. The process is somewhere like this, with the standard deviation of, let's say 3 degree centigrade. Sigma is 3 degree centigrade. All right. Sigma is equal to 3 degree centigrade. So I'm just giving you some numbers, okay, random numbers. Can you calculate CP for me? Can you just calculate CP? CP again is a process capability number. So USL and LSL, 90 and 70. So 90 minus 70 divided by 6 into 3. Can you just calculate this for me and give me the answer in the chat box? So which is 90 degree minus 70 degree divided by 6 into 3 degree centigrade, right? So which is nothing but 20 divided by 18 is equal to 1.11, something like that, right? Everybody got this? 1.11, 11111. Yes, no? Yes, everybody got this? So this is called potential process capability. Okay. Now understand this. If I improve, if I improve the process and bring it, very close. Okay. That means if I reduce the variation, what will happen to standard deviation? Type in the chat box. What will happen to standard deviation? If I reduce the variation of the process, what will happen to standard deviation? Will it reduce? Just put R, or will it increase? Just put I. Type in the chat box. R for reduce and I for increase. Will reduce, right? Everybody's clear about this? As I reduce the variation, it will reduce, right? It will decrease, correct? Fantastic. Very good. So imagine, okay. Now understand this. If I work on this process, see, if I see the process, sometimes there are temperature like 73, 74, and there are temperature like 88, 89. Are you understanding? Now I work on the process, and now the process is very, very thin. Now my standard deviation is, let's say, 2 degrees centigrade. Can you calculate the Cp again with this new version of process capability, new version of process? Now the lower specification and upper specification is absolutely one. Okay. Sorry, absolutely same, 90 and 70. Can you just calculate again the Cp with the new standard deviation of 2 degrees centigrade? Can you just calculate it quickly? Fantastic. With the same formula, what has happened is, instead of 3 degree, now it will be 2 degrees centigrade. So instead of 18, it will be 12. So 20 divided by 12 is equal to 1.66 or 1.67. You can round it off to 67. Clear? That means the capability has increased. Are you understanding? From 1.11, as my process variation is reducing, my capability has improved. Are you clear with this concept? Just type yes in the chat box. Clear? Basic clear hai? So as I'm reducing the variation of the process, my capability is automatically increasing. Okay. So you reduce standard deviation and increase the process capability. That's it. Understood? Everybody understood this? Just type yes. Any doubt in this? Just let me know. Got it? Fantastic. Super. Very good. Now let's move to another one. Okay. Now, okay. So shall I remove this? Let's stick to the next process itself. Okay. Very good. Now, let me remove this. I hope you remember the formula. Let me draw another process. With the same 70 degree and 90 degree. Okay. Now the process is here. All right. With standard deviation of 2 degrees centigrade. Can you just calculate Cp now? Can you just quickly calculate Cp? This is my upper specification and this is my lower specification limit. Okay. Again, the formula of Cp remains same, which is USL minus LSL divided by 6 times standard deviation. So you have to put your numbers inside the formula and you'll get the answer. What is the answer? Type in the chat box, everybody. Won't be the same like the first example. Why? Preeti, just follow the formula. Formula is Cp is the same. USL minus LSL. What is the number? What is the answer? Type the answer in the chat box. Okay, but you got the same answer, right? 1.66. Now my question is, when the process was here with 2 standard deviation sigma, okay, and the process is outside of the specification limit, my Cp number is 1.66 only. Yes or no, everybody? The process has shifted outside of the specification, but Cp number is same. Are you understanding? तो कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, right? That means in my Cp formula, there is no center of the data set taken into consideration. Have you realized this? There is no center. The process is shifting on the right side, on the left side. This formula is not capable of finding out the shift in the process. Have you realized this? Just type yes in the chat box. Have you realized this, everybody? If the process shifts on right side and the left side with the same standard deviation, okay, the width of the process is same. It is just shifting on the right side or the left side because of some reason, but that shift this formula is unable to detect. Okay, so this is the potential process capability showing. Now, what is the actual process capability? The same thing, na? It's the same formula, na? 90 minus 70 divided by 6 into 2. So, 20 divided by 12 is equal to 1.66. Same. What we have calculated earlier, correct? Yes. Now, so then statisticians actually evolved another formula, which is called as, yahan tak clear hai? So, which is called as, let me just clear this, called as Cpk. Which is called as Cpk. What is the formula for Cpk? They devised the formula for Cpk. The formula is USL. So the Cpk formula is this. Okay. So actually Cpk is, there are two formulae here. Let me just remove this. Okay. Just a second. So Cpk formula is this. Minimum of, in bracket, USL minus X bar divided by 3 standard deviation and X bar minus LSL divided by 3 standard deviation. And whichever is the minimum value, that becomes the Cpk. The Cpk stands for, Cpk is standing for process capability index. Write this down. Process capability index. Now what they have added here is this X bar they have added. What is X bar, by the way? Type in the chat box, everybody. What is X bar here? X bar का मतलब क्या है? Exactly. It's the mean of the data. It's the average of the data. And that they have added in the formula. Now you are checking this 2 times. One is on left side, one is on the right side, and whichever is lower, that is called Cpk value. Okay. So minimum of Cpk. So we call this value as Cpk upper. You can write this down. We call this value as Cpk upper. In bracket you can put. And this value is called as Cpk lower. So we calculate, process capability on both sides. Okay. On lower side also we calculate, on higher side also we calculate, and whichever number is lower, that is our process capability. See, you would have heard one English saying that the strength of the chain is defined by its, type in the chat box. The strength of the chain is defined by its, what is the answer? Type in the chat box. Weakest link. Absolutely right. The strength of the chain is defined by its weakest link, because if you pull the chain, the weakest link breaks. The same formula is applied over here. Okay. So what is this upper and lower? Just try to understand is. All right. So if this is the case, if your process is shifted on this side, okay, so you will make more defects here, right? Okay, and this is USL. Understand this? So you will make more defects here. So your Cpk lower will have lower value. Understand this? Whenever your process is shifted on this side, you are making more defects on this side, correct? Whenever you are making more defects on this side, your Cpk lower will be having lower. So it's very simple, no? So this is the mean, right? So LSL and mean ka difference chota hai, correct? So this value will be lesser compared to this value, yes or no? If this is X bar, this value will be greater, right? USL and X bar ka distance zyada hai. So this value will be greater and LSL and X bar value will be lower. So always CPK lower will be lower whenever your process shifts on this side. If your process shifts on this side, it exactly opposite happens. Okay, so you make more defects on upper side and your CPK upper becomes, on the lower side. Because they have split this entire spectrum into two pieces. Okay, first it was entire spectrum which was 6 standard deviation. Now they are split into two halves of 3 sigma each, 3 standard deviation, 3 standard deviation each. Clear? And they have put a X bar, which is the mean over there. Clear, everybody? So they have just split that CP formula into two parts. Understand this? With X bar in between. Okay, so 3 sigma X side mein, 3 sigma X side mein, whichever comes lower, that is called the process capability index. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Are you clear with this? Just take a screenshot or take the formula over here. Everybody clear? Super clear. Now, when do we use this? Okay. So this is called as short-term process capability. What is that? Now you can just write down, make a short term and a long term. Let me explain you that. What is short term meaning? Everybody knows about sample and population. Just give me a yes in the chat box. Everybody knows about sample and population. You know the theory of sampling and population, yes or no? Correct. Population meaning the entire data set. Sample meaning a subset of the population. Everybody is clear, right? हम लोग स्कूल में and colleges में सीखे हुए हैं, right? And in our company also we do the lot of sampling for the quality checking, correct? So what is short term? So in the variation also there are some short term variations and there are some long term variations, correct? So short term variations are about sample and long term variations are about population. Okay, now if you are a share trader, you know the intraday trading has got, during the day the price of the share fluctuates. That is called the short term variation. Intraday trading, it's a short term game. Short term variation can be shown in intraday. Okay, so I'll give you example of intraday trading. Okay, which is during the day. And what about, so let me just put a line here. And what about a long-term, that share price? Let's say if I take 1 year, 2 years data, that is called the long-term variation. Yes or no? Long-term, maybe 1 to 2 years. Are you understanding what I'm talking about here? Just give me a yes in the chat box. Are you understanding this? Just give me a yes in the chat box. Everybody. समझ में आ रहा है? So one is short term and one is the long term. One talks about a sample, one talks about the long term population. Are you understanding? Yes. So CP and CPK is short term process capability index. On the other side, there is its counterpart on the long term, which is called as PP and PPK. Make a note of this. Okay. Now CP meaning, CP का मैंने क्या फुल फॉर्म बताया था? CP का फुल फॉर्म, व्हाट इज CP? potential process capability. And what is CPK? Process capability index. Write this down. On the other side, what is PP, by the way? PP stands for potential performance. Write this down. See, when we say performance, it's always long term. Are you understanding? We ask somebody's performance, how this person is performing since last 3 months, 4 months, 1 year. It's a performance. Okay. And what is PPK? PPK stands for Process Performance Index. Just take a screenshot of this. So CPCPK is potential process capability and potential capability index. Sorry, process capability index. And PP is potential performance and PPK is process performance index. How you can say potential performance index as well. Same thing. Clear, everybody? So this is a short term, this is a long term game. Now the question comes, by the way, the formula is absolutely same. Huh? The formula is absolutely same. Only in the short term standard deviation is taken. In the long term standard deviation is taken. That's it. The PP PPK ka formula exactly same hai. USL minus LSL divided by 6 standard deviation. When I take say standard deviation, for CPCPK, we are using short-term standard deviation. For PPPPK, we are using long-term standard deviation. That's the only difference in this. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Formula remains exactly same. Clear? Everybody just give me yes in the chat box. So short-term and long-term. Generally, in our projects, we are using CPCPK only. Okay. In the projects, in our internal, let's say, for example, our because we check the quality very frequently, right? So it's always a short-term sampling. So we always calculate CPCPK. CP is the potential and CPK is actual, whatever is calculated. Okay. See, CPK, write this down. CPK cannot exceed CP value. Write this down. CPK cannot exceed the CP value. CPK cannot exceed CP value. At the most, CP and CPK can become equal. But it can never happen that CPK is exceeded the value of CP. Because CP is the highest potential you have right now. Without considering the shift. It is considering that your process is exactly hitting the target. That is your CP value. Understand this? But in reality, understand this. See, CP value is what CP value is assuming that your process is exactly hitting the target. Your X bar and your target is same. That is the assumption of CP. Your X bar, which is the mean, which is the center of the data, is exactly hitting the target. That's where your CP value will be equal to CPK value. But in reality, your process keeps on shifting on right hand side and left hand side, right hand side or left hand. Yes or no, everybody? Just type yes or no in the chat box. In reality, okay, you cannot have process exactly hitting your target all the time. For some time, yes, it comes to the center. For some time, it comes to the center. But again, it shifts right hand side, left hand side, right hand side, left hand side. Like that. Clear hai? That's why CP is the potential, CPK is the actual, CPK cannot exceed CP. At the most, CPK and CP can be equal. And that is what is our target. What is a, see, lot of people ask this question. Okay, why do we calculate CP and CPK together? Because CP is the potential and CPK is the actual. It is like in the cricket match, in 1 over, in 6 legal delivery, what is the maximum score you can score? Type in the chat box. In 6 legal deliveries, how many runs you can make? In 6 legal deliveries, type in the chat box. In a cricket match, that is your CP, 36 runs. That is your CP. And whatever you are making actual, that is your CPK. Are you clear with this example? When somebody like Yuvraj Singh hits 6 balls, 6 sixes, that's where your CPK is equal to your CP. Good example. Okay. That's where your potential is realized. It's the highest potential. Clear, everybody? Just type yes. So short term and long term. Clear? Now, another question comes. Okay, everybody with me till now, just type yes or no in the chat box. Everybody with me? Any question? Okay. See, short term is very simple to understand that, every shift data or every 1 hour, sampling, it's a short term data. Okay. Daily data, weekly data, they're short term data. What is the definition of long term? According to you, what is the definition of long term? Type in the chat box. Everybody, let me know. According to you, what is the definition of long term? Long term. Type in the chat box. Type in the chat box, everybody. What is your definition? What is your understanding of long term? When I say long term, what comes in your mind? Data of 1 to 2 years, stable process. Now, what is the duration? I'm asking, what is the duration? Month on month, okay. How many months? See, how many months will you say a long-term data? 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, 1 month, more than 6 months, 1 year, 6 months. Very good. Very nice. Okay. Now, here is the real answer. The real answer to long-term is the data. Remember this. Maybe you can write this down. The data which can encompass all the extreme values in your process. It's called long-term process capability or long-term data. I repeat again. The data which encompasses, which includes all the extreme values which can come in your process, that is called long-term data. Now, it can be 1 hour data also, which encompasses all the extreme values, whichever can come in your process. That 1 hour data also can be a long-term data. If, let's say, for example, if you are working in a cold drink company and you are working in a sales department, okay, you cannot take only 1 month data as a long-term data, because at least you have to take 1 year data, because you know that the sale goes at the lowest in the winter season and the sale goes on the highest in the summer season. So you have to take all the seasons data. So the data, the space of the data, the time duration, which encompasses all the extreme values, it's called long term. So it is different to different processes. Are you clear with this definition? Just type yes in the chat box. Are you logically clear with this explanation? There is no hard and fast definition of long term. It is different to different processes, different products, different industries. Clear hai? Again, one more time. Long term meaning the duration of the data which encompasses all the extreme values is called as long term data. New development in design phase, calculate 125 quantity. Okay. So if 125 you have never done it before, then that will become your long term, that will be a stretch of the data. Are you understanding? So whatever extreme values you have already had, if it encompasses, अगर 6 महीने में आपने extreme values achieve कर लिया है, 6 महीने का data is long term data for you. Ha, exactly. So what you can do is you can check. Now, earthquake is a fantastic place. Let's say Japan. Let's take Japan into consideration, where it's a highest earthquake-prone area in the world. Japan, right? So in Japan, we have seen smaller earthquakes of maybe 2 or 3 Richter scale, which are very common in Japan, and there are mega earthquakes like more than 8 Richter scale. Okay, 8 Richter scale is a super devastating. Anything which is beyond 6.5, 7 Richter scale is super devastating, right? So now let's say if Japanese have seen the lowest earthquake, let's say at 2 Richter scale, and the highest earthquake at 8 Richter scale, right? So whichever this time duration, let's say this time duration is 200 years. So 200 years is a long-term data for them. Clear hai? Whichever extreme values they can encompass, that duration is called long-term process capability. Long-term data set. Clear? So if it is for 200 years, that 200, or maybe for 100 years, that means I still remember during Second World War, okay, before Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan was hit with a very extremely high earthquake. I think there were 2 big earthquakes, Japan suffered with, which was I think around 1942, 42, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so it was the biggest earthquake in Japan. Okay, and followed by, of course, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, which entirely collapsed the nation. Anyways, so are you clear with the short-term process capability, long-term process capability, CP, CPK? Let's do one Minitab exercise over here. Okay, let me give you one file here. एक मैं file देता हूं आपको. Just see if you can download it. All the new members who have not yet downloaded Minitab, okay, just get it downloaded. Check with our team members, okay. They will help you out in that. चलो ये फाइल ओपन करो फटाफट. दिस इज वन फाइल आई एम गिविंग यू. आर यू एंजॉइंग द डिस्कशन? जस्ट गिव मी यस और नो इन द चैट बॉक्स. या फिर बोरिंग लग रहा है, या फिर समथिंग, यार व्हाट इज दिस, आई एम नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग, आई एम नॉट एंजॉइंग. एनीबॉडी लाइक दिस? Or you are enjoying this? You are getting some new insights, you are getting some in-depth knowledge about the topic, and that is the objective of doing this hard work. Okay, see, just like you, I am also giving full day training today. All right, okay, and coming back to the session in the evening. I know you guys also tired, I'm also tired, but if we are learning something new together, that's the great that's why these entire sessions are also there. Okay, open kiya, just open the file, just type yes in the chat box once you are open the file. Okay, see all the new members, if you have not yet downloaded Minitab software, right, what you can do is just type. Okay, save this number, by the way. All the new members right now, save this WhatsApp number which I have given you. Everybody, please save this number. All the new members who have just joined yesterday, etc., save this new number in your mobile phone and send a message that I want to, I want the access to Minitab, etc. They will send the procedure. Just follow this procedure, very simple. Okay. Chalo, all the new members, just observe what we are doing here. Let me open as well the same file. So the file is like this. Now we want to check the Cpk value of this data set. So this data set is, file is in Excel. No, this is in Minitab file. ये Minitab का file है. Mobile number मैंने दिया है. Yeah, this is a mobile number. This is only for the WhatsApp communication and not for the calling, because this is the common number across all the mentors. Okay. So this is only for the WhatsApp. Just send a WhatsApp message and we will revert on that. Okay. Now coming back to this. So this is the chocolate weight data. Now when it says chocolate weight, is it continuous or discrete data? Type in the chat box. Is it continuous or discrete? Everybody? Continuous data, right? So we'll go for process capability analysis. So go to stat, quality tool, capability analysis, and normal. Everybody follow this. Stat, quality tools, capability analysis, and normal. Just follow this path. Go to stat, quality tools. In the quality tools, select capability analysis, because process capability kar rahe hum log, and normal, because the data is normal distributed. Okay. Select this. In the single column, select chocolate weight, double click on chocolate weight there. In the subgroup size, just select 1. Just follow me. Now here is lower specification limit. What is lower specification limit here? In this case, imagine uh, in our tea example, cup of tea example, what was upper and lower specification limit? Type in chat box. Do you remember? I mentioned upper and lower specification limit in our tea cup of tea example. Temperature wala example. What was the upper and lower specification limit was there? 70 and 90, right? In this case, it is 36 grams and 48 grams. So write this down. So the chocolate weight is in grams. So we have 36 grams and 48 grams. So just put 36 in lower spec and put 48 in upper spec. That's it. Everybody with me? And just type OK. And here we go. Super. Everybody got this diagram? Just type yes in the chat box. Super, super. Amazing. You guys are awesome. Okay. So here, what is the mean? Mean is 42 point. Here you can see here, 42.1058 is the mean. आपको नहीं मिला प्रशांत जी? मैं फिर से रिपीट करता हूं एक बार. Have you opened the file? Just give me yes in the chat box. Okay. What you do is go to stat, quality tool, capability analysis and normal. इसको follow करिए. Stat, quality tools, capability analysis and normal. Once you click on that, select chocolate weight wala column in single column. Just double click on that. Okay, just double click, it will get selected. In subgroup size, select 1. In lower spec, put 36. That's the lower specification limit. And upper spec is 48. So customer will accept chocolate between 36 and 48. Nothing lower than that, nothing higher than that. Once you've done that, just click on OK and you will get this graph. So as we have studied, got it? Fantastic. Super. As we have studied, the CPK value is 1.34. So this is my process capability. So right. So this is my CPK, which is short term. So this is called short term process capability. And this is called long term process capability. Okay. So PPK is 1.19 and CPK is 1.34. Clear, everybody? Now, can we convert CPK value into Z value, Z score? Yes, we can do that. For example, there is a table you can do that. Just make a note of this. What is the conversion of CPK and Z? Right? CPK and Z ka conversion aisa hai. If CPK value, understand this. If CPK value is 0.33, the Z score is 1. If CPK value is 0.66, it is 2. Z score is 2. If CPK value is 1, the Z score is 3. If CPK value is 1.33, CPK value is 4. If CPK is 1.66, Z score is 5. And when CPK value becomes 2, it is a 6 sigma process. And this is a table of. So the CPK value also can be converted to Z score like this. Just make a note of this. So our process is 1.33. So our process is right now 4 sigma process. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. How many of you are clear with this? Just type yes. Clear hai everybody? Super clear? This is how you can calculate CP CPK and PP PPK. Okay. Now, any question you have, let me know in the chat box. Okay. And all the, so this is getting recorded. मैंने recording चालू किया है ना? Okay. So all these, live sessions are getting recorded and they are put in master class archive. All the new members, make a note of this. So save that WhatsApp number and just check out masterclass archive for all the sessions which have happened. Okay. So this session also, before end of the day, before the midnight, it will be put in the masterclass archive with the topic Cpk Pp Ppk and with the date which is 7th 4th 7 4 2025. So you can easily identify with the topic as well as this one. Okay. Okay, so in this, is this benchmarking starting from 0.33? No, this is a simple conversion table. You can use this simple conversion table. CPK 0.33, Z score is 1. Okay, you can say this is a benchmark only. Okay, that's why we always call it Z bench value. Z bench. Okay. Relationship between PP, PPK is the same thing just like CP and CPK. Formula is also same. CPCPK and PPPK formula exactly same hai. Only thing is that in CPCPK we take short-term data. In PPPPK we take long-term data. And I gave you the the definition of long-term. It can be 1 month, it can be 6 months, it can be 1 year, 2 year. It depends on the process. Whichever encompasses your extreme values is your long-term process data. So if you are taking long-term data, you are calculating PPPPK. If you are taking short-term data, you are calculating CPCPK. That's the only difference. Generally, in projects, we generally calculate CPCPK only. Okay, everybody clear? Clear as CPCPK? Yes. With this practical also, we have covered, the basic fundamental, the formulae. Okay, and along with the practical demonstration on the Minitab as well, so that you can now practice. Okay, so everybody take your own data and calculate your own CPCPK if possible. Clear? That's your homework. Clear hai? Just give me yes. Very good, very good. Any question? Now I'm open for the question answer. So question and answer koi hoga, to you can just raise your hand and we can ask the question answer. Okay. Meanwhile, let me just quickly show all the new members. Okay. All the new members must have got your login ID and password. Yes or no? Recorded session download नहीं होगा. रोनी जी डाउनलोड करिए भी मत. I'll tell you why. Because डाउनलोड मत करिए. इसको डाउनलोड करने का ना करने का रीजन है कि उसका साइज बहुत ज्यादा होता है. इट्स लाइक 2 GB 3 GB 5 GB काइंड ऑफ it's a very high definition recorded version. So it's better to check out in our LMS system. Okay, in our LMS system you can access it as many times as possible. Most of the time we will keep it in our YouTube channel as well, right? Everybody, have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? Yes, Dhiresh Patil YouTube channel का नाम है. You can just subscribe that as well. Subscribe करो अभी, फटाफट करो. धीरेश पाटिल सिक्स सिग्मा आपको दिख जाएगा, SNG का लोगो. Okay, and all the live session में all the live sessions nowadays we put that in the YouTube channel as well, so that you can check out that. But download करके आपका size size बढ़ जाएगा, so doesn't matter. White belt नहीं, yellow belt. So yellow belt certificate, if you not received it, just send a message on the number. Okay. And by the way, within if Sohail has given you the YouTube channel link as well. Okay. Okay. Generally after the exam is given, generally we give within 6 to 7 working days. Okay. But actually we give it earlier as well. Okay. Check out your inbox, spam folder and promotion folder. All right. The email from info@odvco.com. ये ईमेल आईडी से आपको ईमेल आएगा. ओके, चेक करिए. दैट इज येलो बेल्ट एक्चुअली. It is not PPP. It is not related to our any process like machine output. So again, if you are taking for the machine, let's say you want to calculate that process capability. Okay, for the machine, if you are taking, let's say, one shift data, it's a short-term process capability. If for the same machine, if you are taking a long-term data, maybe a 1 month, 6 month, 1 year data, that is the long-term process capability. Okay, so you can calculate for the machine as well. Why there was a range of Cpk 0.33 to 2 equivalent to Z bench and 1 to 6. Okay. See Cpk and the Z bench formula. What is the Z bench formula? The Z bench formula is USL minus X bar divided by standard deviation. Make a note of this. USL minus X bar divided by standard deviation. So the Z का फॉर्मूला मैं यहां पे लिख देता हूं, USL minus X bar divided by sigma or standard deviation. Okay, this is a formula for Z. Now you can calculate what is the difference. Now I've just given you the clue. Priti, I've given you the very strong clue. So you have Cpk ka formula, you have Z bench formula now. Now you can just think about it. Okay. And whichever doubt you have, you can just put that in this number. Okay, everybody? Clear? Super clear? So once you get the login ID password, you can start your journey with the first what you can say, the first course, which is Lean Six Sigma Green Belt certification. Let me show you that quickly. So you have to go to LMS, do your login, go to my courses, and just find out course number 1. See, you will find lot of courses there. Don't get messed up. Just go to course number 1. See, we have signed up for course number 1, course number 2, and some of you have signed up for course number 3, which is Master Black Belt. Okay, course number 1 Green Belt, course number 2 Black Belt, course number 2 Master Black Belt. Okay, एक बार ये 2-3 होने के बाद, then lot of other options are available for you to explore. Okay, but first thing first. Okay, because this certification is more valuable for your career. तो पहले certificate ले लो, and बाद में आप बाकी का सब बोनस में बहुत सारा पड़ा हुआ है. आप पूरा साल भर, पूरा जिंदगी भर सीख के भी कम पड़ जाएगी. उतना कंटेंट अपने पास अवेलेबल है. ओके, हाँ, पीपीपीपी के हम लोग ब्लैक बेल्ट में भी सिखाते हैं, मास्टर ब्लैक बेल्ट भी सिखाते हैं. आप आज ही तो सीख गए ना पीपीपीपी, सेम फॉर्मूला है, नथिंग डिफरेंट. Okay, so in the black belt project also we use CPK only. Okay, but in some cases what happens, customer asks for the performance index data as well, where we should be able to clarify that. So we take the long term and give them the data. That's where we should be clear about CPK and PPPK. Okay, yeah, clear everybody? Super clear. Just give me yes. Okay, just give me yes the chat box. Any doubt after the session also, you can get connected on the WhatsApp number anytime. You can send the message and we'll be giving you the answer. Okay, super. Thank you very much for joining in. Keep learning, keep growing.